Hi, this is Kelly, your certified health coach.
And this is Scarlett, your life coach, here in the Valley of the Sun. Welcome to Hot in Arizona. What a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
It
a
is.
little bit breezy, but it's nice.
Yeah, it is a little bit breezy. Something is blooming. Something.
Oh, totally.
What is it?
I don't know, but it's bad.
It's wreaking havoc.
It is.
It's wreaking havoc. Let me just tell you, whatever it is, it's floating around there, messing up my nose, making me cough.
Yeah.
And of course, now nobody's wearing masks. And of course, people are still looking at you weird,
Right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Everything good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
It's busy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's busy. Getting ready to go up north this weekend. I'm
Awesome.
super
Oh my
excited.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. Very
I'm
cool.
excited to get out of the city for a few days.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. Visit with family and
Exactly.
hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
What's new with you?
I've been busy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, been doing my little adventures and yeah. I just had a carbonated drink, so I don't know. I could be like, wow, this isn't gonna sit well. But no, been really good. Been really good.
Good.
Yeah, been doing a lot of stuff. Just going here and hither and yon. Yeah, watching some stuff on Netflix. They're starting to lag again. It's like they come out with really good stuff and then it's like,
Yeah.
But I actually watched a really good movie. It's a documentary.
Oh, I love documentaries.
I know. And I love outer space. Love outer space. And it's called Mercury 13.
Okay.
And it was during the Mercury missions. And the 13 refers to 13 women who signed up to be astronauts.
Oh.
Back in the early 60s.
Interesting.
Interesting and infuriating.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It's hard to imagine growing up when we did. But honestly, it wasn't too long before women were kind of treated really poorly.
Yes.
And
yes, they were.
No respect.
Right.
None. Okay? It was just expected that a woman, you go to school, if you go to college, you go to get your MRS, right? You go to meet a husband, get married, have babies, that's your life.
Right.
That's your life. And these women, of course, World War II comes along, and there's no men at home to do stuff. And so who's left to do it? These women. Well, a lot of these women were working for the government, right? They're working for the military.
They were super smart women.
Super smart. And a lot of these women were they were trained pilots.
Yep.
And they were jet certified. Yep. Now, they weren't allowed to fly jets in the war, but they were jet certified. And after the war's over, they kind of clipped their wings. Okay, now you go back and put your apron back on.
Yep, exactly.
And these women were like, whoa. I had freedom.
Right.
I flew. I had wings. And now you're telling me to go home?
Right.
That's not going to happen. These women were absolutely amazing women. So they're like, hey, we want to be... And actually, the thing is, NASA came to them and said, you want to be an astronaut? And they were like, duh. So they go, and it was such a good old boys club. This just fired me. So the Russians heard about this, right? And the Russians are like, they've got women that are signing up to be astronauts. Well, the Russians, not to be outdone.
Oh, of course not.
In 1963, sends a woman up. They said, hey, Natasha. No, her name was Valentina. You want to be a Russian cosmonaut? She said, yeah, comrade. And she went up and she did like 48. Yeah. She orbited the Earth 48 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And comes back down. And so John Glenn, okay, he was one of my heroes.
Yeah.
He's interviewed. And they said, you know, the Russians beat us to space.
Uh-huh.
Now they've beat us to having a woman in space.
Right.
What would you think, you know, about getting a woman up there? And he says, oh, well, maybe we should have sent him up with the chimp. Okay, MF, let me tell you.
What the hell?
And then the guy says, so if you had a woman who had all the same qualifications and could do it just as good as you, what would you do? And he goes, sure, I'd welcome her. But, you know, nobody's as good as them, right? Their egos were so huge. And one woman, she hit the nail on the head. These were scared little boys.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They were scared little boys because a woman could do it. They had all the qualifications that these men
They
did.
didn't want to be outdone by a woman.
So the president of the United States said, sure, here are all of the qualifications needed to be an astronaut. So if a woman wants to, she absolutely can, as long as she's a man. Are you freaking kidding me?
Seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
And Lyndon B. Johnson, worst president ever.
Oh, yes.
He even writes, they have the letter where he writes, let's shut this down now. No more women. We did not send a woman into space for another 20 years. 1983, Sally Ride. Are you kidding me?
That's messed up.
They did not get the respect that they thoroughly deserved.
Right.
Thoroughly. And respect, I don't know, it's a funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you know, like forgiveness. I wouldn't forgive because in my head I thought that meant that I was condoning it,
Uh-huh.
and that's not what it is.
No.
Respect is almost kind of like that, wherein it doesn't mean you're buddy-buddy. It doesn't mean that you love everything about that person. It just means that you are giving them their due.
Mm-hmm.
That you are acknowledging
Mm-hmm.
what they have done.
Right.
And that you're admiring that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And they couldn't do that for these women. Unreal.
It's infuriating to watch that kind of stuff happen.
Oh, it just broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of funny because then I watched The Help for the 11th time. Same thing.
Uh-huh. It is.
Here are these women who are, well, first of all, these white people, they were looking down on their help when it was the help that was raising their children, taking care of their households.
Yep.
Because obviously these women couldn't do it.
Exactly.
So here are these strong women, not only taking care of your household, but their own.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't give them that respect,
Exactly.
that admiration, that acknowledgement
Right.
that you are going above and beyond.
Right.
It really is infuriating.
It is infuriating. Respect comes in so many different forms too. I mean,
Yes.
is it respect for the things that we do, the things that acknowledging their intellect and the things that they can give, but also respect comes in the way of, you know, communication.
Oh, yeah.
You know, let's communicate and have the decency and the respect to say what you need to say.
Yes. Yes.
You know, if you're gonna end a relationship, for instance, don't do it over text or don't
Right.
ghost somebody. You know, have a face-to-face
Right.
conversation.
Right. Right.
And have the respect
Yes.
that they deserve. Give them the respect that they deserve.
And yeah, I mean, things like that I know can be scary
Mm-hmm.
because people do have a hard time facing those kind of things.
Right.
Because they're cowards.
Right.
And I think they're always I guess maybe it's hard sometimes to acknowledge our own weaknesses, and you don't want to feel like, the bad person, but it is important to give that other person their due.
It is.
It is important because obviously you respected them at some point in order to have whatever relationship you had.
Right. And why are you leaving them wondering?
Right.
That's it, don't leave them to wonder what the heck is going on. Tell them.
Exactly.
So that there is no wondering, there is no question.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then give them the respect to have their say.
Yes. Yes. And as long as, again, this would go on forever, but as long as both sides are respectful.
Right.
It's like, yes, I would like to have my say. I'm not going to sit here and scream, and berate you.
Right.
I would like to say, okay, if this is the way you feel, I'm sorry, and it's hurtful, and then you go your separate ways. But I do think that it is important to have that respect, to honor somebody, to allow that.
Right.
It just helps with healing.
Exactly.
And I was also, and like you said, it just comes in like all different kinds of forms. We talked about, oh my gosh, a couple episodes ago, now I can't even remember. Oh my gosh. One of our biggest fan was saying about how we had been talking about, the lists and all the things that we wanted, and how we wanted someone who had the same political views, and of course she and her husband do not. And she reiterated that for them, it comes down to respect.
Right.
They have a mutual respect for one another, to acknowledge and to honor that thought, if that's the way you believe, without having to put each other down.
Exactly.
Without going at each other. It's okay to disagree.
It is.
It's okay. You don't have to agree on everything. And to just have that respect to let it go.
Yep. Well, like Facebook is a good example. You go on Facebook and you have these people who are so extreme, like either right or left, or they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum, and they are totally slamming people who don't believe like they do. And I don't agree with that. You and I are both conservative, but I do not agree with those that are out there slamming somebody just because they're a Democrat, just because they're liberal. I don't agree with that at all, and I will not engage in that. And it's very upsetting, because then I see, like my family, who the ones that are Democrats are like, I thought we were family. Why is she talking like that? Or why are they treating me like that? So
I think a lot of times, especially with Facebook, people just kind of get braver and braver because you're not face to face.
Right. They're really good keyboard warriors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is super easy. And then when you do get face to face, I don't know if you ever saw that thing on Facebook with the dogs and the fences between them, and they're going at it just and slowly that fence is being pulled away, and then they're like face to face with nothing between them. They're like, hey, and they quit barking, they quit growling. I think it's important, that you respect people either in person, face to face, or not.
And if you don't agree with somebody, then don't comment.
On. Exactly.
Just move on.
That is just amazing to me, how people feel like they have to comment.
Yeah.
They have to have their say, no matter what it is. And most of the time it just leaves them looking silly.
Right.
Honestly.
Maybe it's just because I'm not confrontational. I don't know. But it's like I see something, I'm like, I don't agree with that. And I just keep on scrolling.
I used to be very confrontational.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not
very
at all.
confrontational. But I guess I was pretty young. And my mother used my cat as an example because I had gotten into it with somebody. And boy, I could be pretty vicious. I was like, I just didn't let go. I was like a little terrier. And we were watching out my window, and my cat, I had this cat, big tomcat, and he was always getting into fights. And this other tomcat, they were walking toward each other on the fence, and then they both sat down. And we're watching, and I'm like, go kick his, come on, let's do it. But he didn't. He turned around and walked away. And my mother said, you do not have to engage in every fight.
Exactly.
It's okay to turn around and walk away.
Yep.
And just show a little respect. Doesn't mean you're any weaker.
Right.
That's the great part.
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't mean you're any weaker. It just means you're smart enough to not engage.
Yep.
So yeah, I learned that lesson from my cat. He just turned around. He was like, "Not today." Not today. So it's important, and I think that right now is really what is lacking a lot with people, is that we've kind of gone feral.
Yeah, totally.
It's like we've lost, that certain gentility, and we're just not being respectful.
Right. I was watching, TikTok,
Yeah.
and I saw a little video of this woman who's military. She's Army, and she walked into a restaurant and ordered some food, and the cashier looked at her and said, "I hope you get shot."
What?
And the girl was like, "What did you just say to me?"
Are you
And
kidding
she
me?
goes, I hope you get shot. You're the reason that we have these problems." And she was like, okay.
Wow.
I mean,
that is
just
hard for me to believe.
Complete lack of respect, and it's happening more and more to our military and police personnel, and it just really.
That is hard for me to believe, honestly. And if I were to ever see anything like that, I would need you to contact my attorney.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
because I would be in jail.
That's one fight.
Throttle.
That's one fight that I would fight, because
I
it's
would
like, excuse
throttle
me.
that person.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're the reason.
Yeah.
That we're in this position. This is because of you. This is because you did not get your ass beat when you were a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Participation trophy.
Oh my gosh. Seriously.
I mean, just the total lack of respect for, someone who puts their life on the line for them every day and for our freedoms every day. And, I just, it blows me away that you do not respect that.
Right. I was always taught. I was taught that you always respect your elders.
Always.
Always. And again, it doesn't mean that you're agreeing with everything. It just means that you are not going to engage.
Right.
My grandmother would throw these parties, and all these old folks would show up, and they'd get sloshed, but I wasn't going to sit there and argue with them or put them down. I just nodded my head and moved on.
Right.
And showed them the respect that they deserved, having lived that long. And yet I was not going to engage in anything that was just going to bury both of us.
Right.
I mean, it's not worth that.
It's not.
It's not. And, I hate to sound a certain way, but seriously, when you are respectful with other people and you can maintain their respect, don't burn bridges, because you never know where later on in life you may come up to these people again.
Yep.
Or you may need them.
You may need them. Yep.
Respect, in order to really get respect, you do have to give it. You have to be respectful in order to be respected.
Right.
You can't be a turd.
The whole do unto others thing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And there are people out there that seriously, I cannot respect.
No.
There are people when you're out there being a turd, I'm not going to respect you, and quite frankly, I don't care if you respect me.
Right.
If you're a turd, be a turd. I'll be one right back, and I'm probably better at it. I just think I am. I can be. You know, as I get older, sometimes it's just not even worth it.
Right.
Seriously.
That's kind of how I feel. It's like, you're not even worth my time.
No. As you get older, you find out that these battles are just like, oh. And I see my kids, especially my youngest, I'm like, trust me, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Exactly.
I've been there. I have fought this battle. Not worth it. Most of the time, it's not even winnable.
Mm-hmm.
You might think you won, but you didn't.
Right.
You didn't. And you were saying, especially with our military
Mm-hmm.
and our police,
Mm-hmm.
that they have really taken some hits.
Oh my gosh.
as far as respect goes.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
Again, when I was little, that's who you respect.
Yes.
These are the people who are going to save you.
Yes.
These are the protectors.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who has raised these animals that are out there today
Me neither.
being so
Wow.
disrespectful.
Blows my mind.
Again, I just want to throttle them.
Exactly.
I really, really do. It's just completely amazing because you are going to need these people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then where will you be?
Right. Right. I
Where will
mean,
you be?
when somebody comes up to you and wants to rob you or
Mhm.
harm you physically,
Mm-hmm.
who are you going to call?
Right. Right. And if they're not around, there will be more and more people who will want to harm you.
Right.
It's just amazing. And you know, you have to, we've seen so many pictures, especially when you see these pictures, if there's like an active shooter and
Mhm.
everybody is running away except the officers.
Exactly.
And they're running
They're towards it.
that danger. Unknown, right?
Right.
They have no idea.
They are looking
what they're coming up
literally,
against.
their life is right flashing
Absolutely.
right before
And they're
their
giving
eyes.
it up for you?
Yep.
Seriously?
You who hates them, you who
Right.
disrespects them, you who treats them like crap.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Mhm.
And that is what they do. They want to be a servant.
They're sheepdogs.
They are. They truly are. They truly are.
And I want to say thank you because
Oh,
last week was
absolutely.
Police Week.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you to our police officers for everything that you do, the life that you lead, and
Mm-hmm.
to
Absolutely.
put it on the line every single day. And you know, an officer is never off duty.
No.
I mean, even they may not be at work, but they're always on. They're
Mhm.
always there, and that's their personality.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot not help.
Right.
I mean, they just can't.
Right.
And so thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I totally agree. Totally agree. Well, with that being said,
Mhm.
it's going to bring us to what's hot in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because it was Police Week,
Mhm.
we are going to feature the Phoenix Police Museum.
Right on.
They are located at 17 South 2nd Avenue in Phoenix, in the most beautiful building I have seen. It's historic City Hall. Just stunning building. I don't know how many stories it is. It kind of reminds me like it belongs in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has that look. It just, yeah, and it's absolutely stunning. And in the back of this building at 17 South 2nd Avenue, and actually it's at Jefferson and 2nd, it faces Jefferson, is the museum.
Mhm.
Little bitty. There is some parking on the street right now. There's a lot of construction, but we got lucky. We got parking right in front. And there are two parking structures on either side at the end of the block. So it might be a little bit of a walk if you do have to park there, if you're not able to find any parking on the street. Again, super lucky, there was parking. They have an old police car out front, and you go in and it's free. Free is the best, right?
Free is awesome.
Free is the best. And you go in, and it doesn't really look all that big, and it is pretty small. However, inside there is a Model T paddy wagon, a police car, a Buick, what? 2 motorcycles and a helicopter.
Whoa.
So it's little,
But
but
not.
they pack a lot in. But it's very roomy, even though with all, these things, it's not crowded. And you walk in, and we were greeted by this fantastic man named Philip. If you go, tell Philip I said hey. He was amazing. He was amazing. Very knowledgeable, super nice, great stories. Not only is he knowledgeable just about PD stuff, but knowledgeable about Phoenix and Arizona in general. And there was a woman there with him. I don't know if they were like related in any way, but she had spent, I want to say she said like 30 plus years in dispatch.
Wow.
She didn't look that old, but who am I to say? She could have. But I was like, wow, yeah, it's like, egads. The displays are fantastic. It starts with like the very first marshal of Phoenix. He was 23.
Wow.
23. Okay, think about when you were 23, right? I look at my youngest, he's 21. I'm like, no. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
So they have a little, like his little office with the jail attached, it's cute. And then that's where you start off. And going through there, and he came from California, I believe, and became the marshal here for Phoenix. And then it goes on, and it goes through the Arizona Rangers, and then it goes a little bit farther when things are starting to build up more and more. And there's one part in there, and it says that they hired this guy to do traffic control, and the reason that they hired him was because he had a motorcycle. So it was basically like, dude, you got a motorcycle? You want a job? We got something for you to do. But some of the old stuff, they had the logs from all the arrests and everything.
Oh.
A lot of drunken disorderlies.
Yeah.
But the handwriting on these logs was stunning. I mean, you want to talk about some calligraphy? Oh my gosh. There was one guy that was arrested for sleeping drunk.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I get, drunk and disorderly, but sleeping drunk? It's like,
Alrighty then.
Oh my gosh. So it goes all the way up until present time, which is just really amazing.
That's awesome.
What was really kind of cool was that they did have a small kind of a dispatch, really old, like with the little plugs you pull out. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then they had, and I don't know, I did this at the PDFM Flagstaff every night, was changing out the tapes. Oh
The
my
reel-to-reel
God,
tapes,
the reel-to-reels. They had one of those. And
Yeah.
it was like, as soon as I saw it, there was like this flashback. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had to do that at Apache County,
Oh
too.
my gosh, that was crazy. And they had a really lovely memorial area for all officers that have lost their lives in the line of duty, as well as K-9. And also part of the 9/11 memorial from the Twin Towers. They had a piece of that there, and it was really a touching memorial.
That's nice.
It's a little bit overwhelming to walk into a room like that, and it reminds you that they do deserve our respect
Yes.
because they give their lives for people they don't know,
Right.
and sometimes would never have met,
Right.
and didn't meet. And it was really, really amazing. A very nice museum. Some of the stuff they had in there is so cool. The information that you will learn is really, really pretty cool. The way that they would dispatch way back when, there was a radio station. So you could be like listening to your, favorite oldies, and then it would just kind of break in. Hey, this is going on over here. We need somebody, There's a fire over on, 7th Ave, and
That's funny.
as you're listening to, it's just really neat stuff. Really neat stuff. They also have a little gift shop area.
Mm-hmm.
So for my youngest, his birthday's coming up, I did some shopping for him, which was nice. They had a lot of really cool stuff.
Cool.
A lot of really cool stuff. And again, I think it just gives you, if you go through there and really take your time on their exhibits,
Mm-hmm.
it does give you a really good perspective of what officers really do and what they have to go through and how much things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
But it will really, I think, renew that respect.
That's great.
Yeah, it
That's
was
great.
it was really a great place. Again, we got lucky on parking. I love going downtown.
I love
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And this building is absolutely stunning. There was like a lot of like little kid things you could buy.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you could get there was a book, and it was called Ranger Henry. It's a little animated book, and it was written by Karen Cantrell. So if you are interested, it would be a great gift. But also on June 29th, that author is going to be at the museum,
Oh,
and she'll be reading from the book, and you can get it autographed.
that's
So
cool.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
They do take donations, so
Mhm.
I do suggest that if you go in there, leave them a little something. I think it's important to preserve that history.
Absolutely.
It's important that other generations learn about this and how far things have come, because they really have made some huge strides.
Mm-hmm.
And they even have an area where they have the police car there. You can dress up. They have shirts, police shirts, ranging